All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Free Daily Coaching. My name is Bert Bledsoe, as most of you already know, and today is a Monday. That means we are on a Mindset Monday here at Free Daily Coaching. Now, over the past few weeks, we have been doing really start from the very beginning in your home-based business. So we started with starting with your autoresponder. We then took it from there to the next step in getting organized. We then actually went through a project and looked at what does it look like to get organized, and went and dug in a little bit deeper than that. We talked about live events, and now what we're gonna do this week is really dig into building your marketing platform. Now, many people here that are here with us right now use a marketing system or a platform of some type. Now, I personally use a platform called My Lead System Pro in my home-based business. In marketing and the tools that I use for that business, that's the platform that I use. So that's the platform that we're going to be showing as we move through this week's lessons. So first, let's dive into Monday. Now, as many of you know, we do a mindset call each and every Monday to get ourselves prepped, to get set and ready for the week. And this week, I specifically wanted to talk about something, and I wanted to be upfront and I wanted to just be candid about it because I don't think this happens enough in the industry, and I think that there's a lot of disconnect because of that. So we're going to talk about something this morning, maybe what I would call a little bit of a confession, and it's a Mindset Monday. So and how this fits into Mindset Monday. So I've been doing a bunch of mindset work, a bunch of different development myself as we've been going through these past few weeks of free daily coaching. And one of the things that I've recognized is that we all have choices. And I really recognize this, and I talked about this a little bit the other day about having this conversation with my son, and I'm talking about the choices we make and how important they really are. And we all get to decide as individuals the choices that we make and where we spend our time and how we spend our time. And we all have the same amount of time. That's a reality, okay? The day is the same length for every single one of us. Now, the time that we spend doing different activities varies based on the priorities that we select, that we pick, right? And so the reason that I get fired up about this is because when I first came into home-based business, the reality was, it seemed to me when I looked around that there was plenty of opportunity, that in fact, what was actually happening, or what appeared to me to be happening for a lot of people, I'm not saying that this is for everyone, but what appeared to me to be happening was it seemed like a lot of businesses, or in this model, people were doing this, up and then down, and then up and then down. Like there was these high and low moments, or these high moments and then these like plateaus, or they chill and then a peak and then right? And so to me, that looked like opportunity. Why? Well, because it wasn't like everyone was like hard charging all the time. So when you look out into the marketplace and you look out into the world and you see the people, the companies, the individuals that you would like to have the results of, right? When you look out into the world, you most likely are looking and saying, man, I'd really like to have results like XYZ person. Maybe you're here at Free Daily Coaching, you say, I really like to build what Bert has built in his home-based business and get those types of results. Or maybe you're looking at a personal development business, or maybe you're looking at a brick and mortar business and bringing it online. Regardless of what business you're trying to build and who you're modeling after, you have some idea of where you'd like to go. Well, most likely those directions are already going to be laid out. There's already a path to get there. So really the question is, are you willing to set aside the time and the energy that's required to get to that end result? That's it. That's really the ultimate question. And that's the question that we all have to ask ourselves and be able to answer. And for some of us, the answer is that's not a priority. That's a reality, and that's okay. I think that what happens is people get stuck in this idea that they have to do it this one way, that there's only one way. And there's several different models on how to build a home-based business, how to do what you want to do, right? There's all kinds of different paths to do what you want to do. And really the question is, are you willing to go out and do what's required? And if you want to make money, right, and this is real, if you want to make money, then you're going to have to most likely sell things. And if you're not going to sell things, then you have to put people in front of a mechanism that sells for you. And you want to make sure if you do that, that it's a good proven mechanism. Right? So what it really comes down to, and this is the idea of this week, is if we're going to go through this week and setting up your marketing and using a platform to do that, and actually taking the time and the energy to do that, is that a priority for you to do? And are you willing to go then and take if you're gonna take the time and energy to go set it up, are you then gonna follow through and go and promote it? Are you gonna take all of the required actions, or are you just gonna do a little bit? And the reason I'm all fired up this morning is as many of you know, our schedule has changed, and Jessica gets up a little bit earlier now because she's driving in the morning. And so she got up this morning to get ready and leave. And I didn't get up with her right at the same exact time, but I did get up earlier than I have been at least the last couple weeks. And I thought, you know what? Right now is the time. This is the time to seize the opportunity, and that's always the time. And what I recognized is our brains are distracted because there's so many different things going on in life that it's really a distraction. And this is something that I really thought about this morning. Just remind me if I forget, and I'm going to come back to that, but it's about the 555. So I thought, this is right now, let's get stuff done. Like there was something, it was about 4:30, it was almost 5, or it was about 5. And I was like, well, it's not even light out, I'm not even going out to feed the animals yet. I can wait. And then I thought, why wait? Why not just go get these things done right now before the animals, and then you'll have more time after the animals to get other things accomplished, right? And let that roll into it so that you have more time to go and network with more people. And then this is what I thought about when I was thinking about priorities and how important our daily priorities are. Over the last 3 weekends, excuse me, not all Saturdays, over the past 3 weekends, we've done some one-on-one immersion, like get into it trainings where we showed some automation of some social media. And the main reason is because I use one channel of social media primarily as my networking channel, and the channel that I'm using as my focus. However, I recognize that there's power in using these other channels, so I wanted to have that set up, right? I wanted to have that taken care of and starting to build while I'm using this other channel. However, what I've recognized is because I've used, okay, this is real, because I've used a certain method of networking, a formula that I used online, I used it in a structured way for a long time, okay? And because I did that over and over and over every single day, what happened was I had an influx, right? A constant supply of conversations and messages. And over time, I got out of some of those habits, and what happened was that influx started to slow down. It didn't stop, but it slowed down. And then what happened was I got distracted. So I'm using social media, but how effective am I being in time? And this is something that I really recognize. I recognized the other day that I was sitting down to do some editing, and I got 2 videos done, and I got a message on a project on Messenger. So I answered that message, and then I noticed that there was like 4 other messages. So I went over there and answered those. And the next thing I know, it was like 2 hours later, and I had only gotten 1 video done. So I recognized for myself that how important these priorities are. And I then recognized that it's up to us. We make these choices. See, I made that choice to go off onto that route and to spend that time doing that. And because of that, this other thing didn't get accomplished. So that was a choice that I made. Well, how can I safeguard myself and make sure that I'm making those good choices? Well, it's just like I did before. I set aside specific time to take specific actions. And when I'm in that mode, then I'm doing that thing. And in this case, when I'm doing the 555, then I'm doing the 555. And I'm not networking. I'm looking for videos, then I'm looking for video. If I'm writing blog posts, then I'm writing blog posts. If I'm recording video, I'm recording video. I'm doing those things segmented specifically because when I multitask and when I'm doing multiple things across the platform or across my computer, then I'm really not getting anything done or not focused enough to actually see a result. So these priorities that we have, we set them, and we have to set our priorities based on the real outcomes that we want. And we talked about this over the weekend. I mentioned it before. If we want to be able to go hike a mountain, right, then we have to start exercising. We can't complain about not being able to get to the top of the mountain if we don't get in shape to be able to get to the top of the mountain, right? We can't complain about not having success in business if we're not actually taking the action. And if we're just doing busy work isn't taking the required actions. That's not really taking the required actions. And a lot of us are avoiding the required actions, and we're doing everything other than what's required to stay busy, to trick ourselves, right? To trick our mind into saying I'm doing it and I'm staying busy. That's real. That's real, because check this out. There's other people that are doing the same thing that are getting results. So if we're doing something and we're not getting a result, then we need to change the action. That's it, pure and simple. If we're doing something, a behavior, if we're taking these actions and we're like, well, I'm not getting a result. I'm not getting what Billy and Susie and what Johnny and Timmy and all these other people are, what's happening. Well, then we need to look, are we following the exact directions? Are we actually doing all of the things that are required? Most likely we can look and say no, and we can see where, right? And a lot of times, and this is vital. A lot of times it takes mentorship. It takes that one-on-one coaching. It takes working with someone else, working with an individual, so that they can look at what you're doing and say, hey, well, look, did you see it from this outside point of view? This is why it might be askew. Or at least in my case, I was able to bounce ideas off a mentor, and they were able to also look in at what I was doing and say, hey, this is specifically what you could do to change the result. So here's the action you can take. Here's how you can go and change that result. So the mindset for this week is, what's the priority for you? What's the end result? What are you really trying to do? And are you going to go and work towards that? That's it, period. How are you going to prioritize? What are you going to do? What actions are you going to take? Are you willing to take all the required actions to be able to move forward? So for some of you that don't know, I will be on the My Lead System Pro morning wake-up call this morning, as well as a new member orientation this evening. So I would love to see some of you this morning. It's at the top of the hour, so that's at 8 a.m. Pacific. That's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will see you at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you guys the next time.